2,000 hours. I can't begin to describe how unreal it feels to have made it to this point. I'm still not even 25% of the way to the 10,000 hour number. I've given up acquiring more gear at this time unless it's gifted to me, since the truth really is that the tone is in the speaker, the technique is all you and your hands. I've given up trying to sound like anyone but me simply because I have learned that I'm not them. I've been running an hour of scales a day. I made it through 12 weeks of the pentatonic minor and am currently working on the pentatonic major. It took a long time to understand the point of scales beyond what initially appeared to me as meaningless busy work. It builds speed, precision, familiarity with the neck, and aids in playing songs. I've tried finding an article that helped me to see what scales actually were for, but I'll attempt to break it down in a nutshell here. I found a photo of all the notes that certain guitarists used laid out across the fretboard on all their hit songs. Looking at those notes, my brain started to say, wait a minute, I know those patterns. The notes were literally portions of the scales that they were playing. It was at that point when I went into a deep dive in a quest to at least become familiar with the modes and scales. It actually took a piano scale video to explain it to me. If you can master the scales, you know 95% of all songs ever written, and if you can front load all that knowledge into your brain, then it's down to just working the kinks out with the last 5%. Right now, I've played through over 20,000 songs. My precision and confidence has increased enough to not quite play with my eyes closed, but I'm getting there. I've taken on a student to help along their way as well, and I'm confident enough now to not just play with the door open, but I've also been playing with an amplifier, and I'm trying to get used to hearing myself with various effects and settings. According to another website, most players never reach 2,500 hours of practice. I can all too easily see how that is true through my own anecdotal evidence. The frustration, the trying to remember scales, chords, theory, everything all at once while trying to balance life makes it seem like almost an exercise in futility. I'm practicing 4 hours a day, and I'm going to continue to do so. What has transpired over this 1,000 hours? I know I've improved because I watch my percentages rise, my speed climb, and my accuracy and comfort with the guitar skyrocket. Others have complimented me on my playing, even if it's just running through scales. But the point is that I'm able to see, notice, feel, and hear the difference. I just don't think that it's enough of a growth yet at this point to be able to show in any way, shape, or form to the degree where I'm comfortable doing anything other than playing for friends and family. While I do have enough knowledge that I can play simple music with power chords and some pop songs, I would not at this point say I'm good enough to audition or charge for lessons. I can't see it happening in the 2,000 to 3,000 hour gap either. Time will tell though, and the only way to know for sure is to get there. I still feel that a 24 fret Super Strat is the way to go, but the love affair with the Les Paul and Stratocaster is waning heavily. I don't want to say that I dread playing them, but the Les Paul's weight is an issue, and I just don't get along with the Stratocaster. Something to do with the neck just isn't jiving with my hands. I can't describe it yet. I'm gaining respect for the SG and the Telecaster, though. The SG is truly an evolution of the Les Paul. While I'd still go towards the Les Paul, the longer I have to play, the more I want the SG. The Telecaster for me is almost perfect, but I'd want to lose the single coils for humbuckers. I've acquired a Flying V and an Explorer, and out of the two, I definitely prefer the Explorer. The V isn't a bad guitar, but its issues have been well documented. The Firebird is my absolute favorite of the Gibson-shaped guitars. I can rest my forearm across the body, and it just feels right in my hands. I've settled on Ernie Ball Paradigm strings, and they're my go-to for any guitar that I purchase. I've settled on green Dunlop Tortex picks. Still haven't settled on a strap that I like yet, though. If I had to set up a rig right now with what I know, I'd go with an SG with a braided cable. The SG would be strung with Paradigm 1042s, braided steel cable, and my Line 6 Spider 2 150-watt amplifier. I've also taken to watching Glenn Fricker's YouTube channel as well as Tony Policastro's Acoustic Tuesday podcast, both of which have served as inspirational and motivational. Tony, Glenn, thank you both so very much for keeping me going when I wanted to just throw my hands up and walk away from everything. Final stats at 2,000 hours. Total playtime, 2,001 hours. 132 of 4,776 tracks at 100% plus. Overall mastery 80.84%. 22,653 song playthroughs. Overall accuracy 90.84%. I still did not know anything. I was still babbling as though I were a baby. Too many guitars, fumbling in the dark, but at least I was crawling. I was trying so hard to find the light switch in a darkened room. Momentum was slow. Progress was painful. Not in the physical sense, but in needing to know. I didn't care about my tone. I didn't care about my sound. I was just trying to make things work so badly that I wanted to scream. I sounded confident, but I had at least narrowed it down to Vi for structure, Guitar Max for gear, Tony Polcastro for inspiration, and Glenn Fricker for the motivation. The more you learn from, the more scattered you become. I had my sources, but the one I didn't see was myself and my refusal to surrender. Never underestimate the power of yourself when the noise is tuned out.